Exhibition season is over. Just like the Jacks, we are hitting the ground running with the live bullets right here on Humboldt All-Axess. Action-packed show as always, and we're going beyond the pitch. We're going to get deep. We got Alia from women's soccer. We got Coach Landy from women's soccer as the Jacks are home this weekend. You better be there to support your Jacks as well because it is going to be prime time. Oh yeah, Fred Jungemann, the men, they're on the road, and Dr. Nick Pettit, leader of the ship, all right here, Humboldt All-Axess. Pleasure to be joined by Arcata product, Alia Prentiss. Alia, thank you for stopping by. Had one of your fellow Arcadians on last week for the men's side of things. Tell us about your journey, about being a hometown hero.
Well, I started out at Arcata High, and I graduated a year early to go to CR, and I did 2 full seasons there. I was also playing basketball, and I had to cut that one short, and I transferred in the spring here, and the rest is history. It's been great.
When did you know you wanted to come to Humboldt? Was that as a youngster over at Arcata, or let's go to CR, see what happens, or just tell us about that maturation process?
I always had Cal Poly, HSU at the time, in the back of my mind, kind of, where I was like, oh, that would be really fun to play, because I know everyone here, and I know everyone who comes to my games, and I think it really, when I decided was when I was at CR, and my coach there was Taylor, who's assisting here now, and she kind of convinced me. But I think growing up, I always had in the back of my mind, it'd be really, really fun.
And we know you're old school with the HSU talk there. Of course. Yeah. I'm still adjusting to Cal Poly, but it's great. Okay, so when you were leaving high school, did you have any talks with Grant?
I didn't, because I had to go to a community college because I got my certificate of equivalency, which isn't technically a college degree. I had to do at least a semester at CR, and originally I had thought about going somewhere else, just to get out of Humboldt because I grew up here.
I get that.
But I think once I did talk to Coach Grant, I realized and I played with the team. I got to practice once, and I was like, this is a really great group, and I'd love to be here.
I was fortunate to go the junior college route before my playing days many, many moons ago, and I think something great about it, too, is you're probably going to see a lot more of the field over those 4 years instead of that young, because you had to be, 16, 17 when you were making the transition because you left a year earlier, and it could have got pretty deep on that bench.
Yeah, I definitely think developmentally it was a great choice for me to go to CR. I think I was a lot more confident when I came and I tried out for Cal Poly, and I was a lot more honed in on my skills personally.
Tell us about your skills. What dynamics and skills do you bring to the team?
Well, I think in the midfield, the biggest thing I bring is creativity, and I feel like I love to work well with my teammates. I love my team so much. We're all friends, and I think that's a great dynamic to have, is we all have a great chemistry on the field, and we can talk to each other and work things out, and I love being a part of that.
What do you think is that secret sauce to getting along and being, not only great teammates, but friends on and off the pitch?
I think just understanding that you're stuck with each other, and so you kind of just have to make it work. And, I think everybody has some really unique past to them, and it's really great to get to know that. We're lucky enough that we get to go on a team retreat and learn more about each other and connect, and I think that's the secret sauce, really.
What's the biggest takeaway you took from the retreat that you don't think you would have gotten out of just, meals and, hanging around in that athletic dynamic?
I think it was learning about people's past. We had a lot of conversations about how did we all get here, and I learned about how people struggled in the past, some of the things they overcame to get here, which don't really come up naturally just on the soccer field, and I think that was a really special experience.
Getting to know someone at a deeper level, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, this team, obviously high expectations coming off of last year. How do you guys put last year in the past, maybe give yourself some confidence, but establish, look, this is a new team and, new goals, new dynamics. I guess talk about, if you can, that mesh of understanding there are expectations, but you're also your own team this year.
I think one of the biggest things that we had to focus on was my class and the class below us having to step up now that I was an upperclassman last year, but now that we're all upperclassmen and we have to take leadership roles and take on bigger roles just for the team playing and just helping each other out. And I think now we have to like make a name for ourselves because we were part of that team last year, obviously, but now we have to step it up and we have to be the leaders.
That's your team.
Yeah.
All right, you guys took a lot from the, I'm going to call it the preseason last year because it kind of got off to a slow start. You also had a tough start to the schedule and then obviously finished as gangbusters. So what did you learn from last year's preseason schedule that hopefully helps the Lumberjacks in this 26-27 campaign?
I think the biggest thing we learned was that to just quickly learn from our mistakes. I think that's something that we're doing a lot better this year. We're kind of on the front foot, like what do we need to work on right now and what can we do and implement into the game as soon as possible. I think we're doing a lot better job this year doing that.
Well, excited for the season. It's going to be just a blast. And appreciate the Arcata High product. Cal Poly Humboldt, who always dreamed about Humboldt State University. Is it a lot different than you expected, or the reality versus the, I don't want to say the dream, but the imagination?
I guess I'm a little surprised at how many people like actually recognize me, and it's really fun. It's really fun. It's like I don't know. It's really nice having so many local people support me that I don't even, I'm like, who is this? Who is this? But it's someone I know, I guess.
I love it. Alia, great stuff.
Thank you.
Back after this. Pleasure to be joined by head coach Grant Landy of the Lady Lumberjacks soccer team. All right, coach. Just had Alia on. She's great.
Yeah.
You know, talking to coaches over the years, being around it, you know, sometimes coaches, it can be a mixed bag taking those local products because it's easier for mom and dad or the fans to come beat you up. But with that said, what has your relationship been like, you know, from getting, you know, student athletes from the Big Five, Little Four?
That's great. I mean, we want to support the community and bring some local players in. I think that the soccer is growing in this community. I think that's only going to be, you know, more of an asset for us moving forward. I think with Alia in particular, she just loves the game, you know, and those players who love playing and love competing can make a lot of strides. And so you kind of heard her story about her journey, and she's going to be a really valuable player for us this year.
And wise beyond her years. In this day and age, so many year stories of, you know, parents and kids want to wait an extra year, hold back to be as old as possible. Because, I mean, I remember, look, to me, it's been a long time, but there's a big difference between a 19 and a 17-year-old coming out. But she's like, look, this is the road ahead.
Yeah.
I'm going to attack it, which I think is just great.
Yeah, and she's really, really intelligent, you know, academically, and I think that was part of her decision. She's pursuing a major we just talked about where she can go in a lot of different directions, and so just really excited for her and excited for, you talked about that older group taking more responsibility this year.
And how has that been? Because you had a great group of seniors, obviously, last year, not to beat a dead horse, but great season. With that said, how have you seen this year's crop of upperclassmen step into those leadership roles? Yeah,
they're doing a good job so far. You know, we've only been together on the field for 2 weeks, but you know, we had our retreat and saw some of that leadership naturally come out. I think some of them are transitioning and realizing, we were just talking to a player that just earlier today about she's a junior now and she's not a freshman anymore. And what does that mean?
I gotta grow up.
Right. And what does that mean about her responsibility? And so I feel like there's a transition that's going on right now, but I think for the most part they're understanding that the older players now have to be sort of the catalyst and the foundation for our program. That's always been the case.
You know, I know when you're at practice, you want to get X's and O's and, you know, teach the team about the work ethic and how you do things.
Yeah.
And all those coaches, X's and O's. Retreat, talk about that and what value that adds to the whole dynamic.
Well, we took them on, this is interesting because we took them on a zip line.
Nice.
And I didn't quite know, you know, when I first set it up, I thought, oh, this would be really fun for our group, and which it was. But it also was not, a lot of them were very nervous about it. And it started me thinking about how we talk about it's okay, you know, it's okay, it's comfortable to be uncomfortable. We talk about that a lot, especially for the new players. And that when you're uncomfortable, it's when you grow. And so I think it was sort of this offshoot of some of them kind of getting over a fear of doing that, or maybe a fear of heights. And I think that just plays into what we want to do with these players while they're in our program, which is we want to see them grow academically, athletically, face their fears. And so it kind of went with the whole line of thinking that we've had.
Okay, with that said, live bullets. They're starting this Thursday. Good news is you're at home.
Yeah.
I felt like you lived in Colorado last year or something like that. But look, back-to-back games to start the season for reals, Thursday and Sunday. How do you even scout at this point of the season? Because obviously you haven't seen any film of the team and vice versa. So how is the beginning of the season from a X's and O's standpoint different than what we're going to see moving forward?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, especially the first game because you find out a little bit from last year, but from year to year it can change. Different personnel, different coaches, whatever that variable might be. And so a lot of it, that first game is going to be like, us adjusting. I think the nice thing about our preseason was we played 3 different teams with 3 different systems, and it allowed us to get used to adjusting to what the other team was giving us. Yeah, so I think that'll come back to bless us. But the level of opponent now gets real for us. It's going to be very challenging. But this is how I design it. The non-conference is it's going to prepare us very well for the conference season.
Yeah, talk about that again. I asked you earlier about local players. Of all the coaches I've covered over the years, there are 2 very different philosophies when it comes to preseason. Some are like, I want cupcakes and I want confidence and work stuff out. Others are like, I want to get bludgeoned. Yeah. And when I get into conference, it's like, been there, done that.
Every year is a little bit different for me. Sometimes it's based on who you can play that given year. Central Washington, we play on Thursday. We're traveling to them next year, so it's kind of a home and away. We went down a couple years to Concordia Irvine, and so they're on a return trip. So some of it is just balancing like return trips or away trips. This just so happens to be, going to be very, very difficult. I think you want to mix. I always want to mix. I always want, we need to have some success. But to be quite honest, if you're doing it in stages, the preseason helps prepare you for the non-conference, and non-conference helps prepare you for the conference. So it's a longer vision, and so I would go with preparing ourselves for the conference if you gave me the choice.
Well, one thing I know you want, all coaches are consistent on, we've got the best home fans, in the West Division II. What would you say to the fans to come out early in the year? I'm sure they still got the World Cup fresh in their head. Come out and support the Jacks this weekend.
Yeah, I think our other, our volleyball and men's soccer teams are on the road. I think they come back and they're at home at some point. So, literally, this is what's happening this weekend, right? And so, come on out and support the Jacks in the home opener and give us a lot of fan support. I mean, as a college athlete, you always want to be playing in front of a big crowd.
1,000%.
And they can give you a lot of energy when things aren't going well, and you see friends and family and all those things. So, Thursday could be a little bit more difficult for people because they're working, but Saturday, obviously we want to see as many people out as possible.
Get out there, campus, the spot to be, Coach. Appreciate it.
Good luck. Thank you.
Coach Landy, back after these messages. Pleasure to be joined by head coach Fred Jungemann of the Lumberjacks soccer squad. Coach, live bullets starting this week. A league opponent in a non-league game that's new to the league. Oh, by the way, you're playing Fresno Pacific. Tell us about the opponent.
Yeah, I mean, their first year in the conference, so from that standpoint, we don't know a lot about them. We've played them 2 years ago, I think was the last time we played them. We've played them a few times, so we're reasonably familiar with them. They have a new coach. I think it's the start of his 3rd year there, so young guy, a lot of energy, really has injected some enthusiasm into their program, so I have no doubt it's going to be a tough game, a competitive game. They're going to come fired up and ready to go, but so are we.
Year one. To begin the season, I asked this to Grant, how do you scout? It's got to be tough because you got a new coach, as you mentioned, and there's no game film. There's last year's team, but that's a whole other story. Yeah,
they have a lot of new guys this year as well, so last year's film probably wouldn't tell us much anyways. The first game, they played some scrimmage games, and so you try to see if you can get some information about that, but even that is still not super reliable. That first game is always really hard because you don't have a lot of information. You just got to go out there and do the best you can and manage it and see what you can do. I mean, luckily, the team we play on Sunday is also playing at Menlo on Thursday as well. So
you can scout them.
We'll scout them.
And it's funny, yeah, at Menlo, which is a new league team as well. And who is Sunday's opponent?
Sunday is Colorado Mines.
Okay, what can you tell us about them from the RMAC, I believe?
Yep, RMAC, historically a strong team. They also have a new coach. It's his first year. Their previous coach just left after last year. So, could be whole, we got no idea at this point. Haven't seen them, haven't seen any idea what their new coach is going to be running or how they're going to do it. But they tend to have a few internationals and, usually big, strong, physical kids. So I would expect something similar to that.
More of the same. And then obviously a place that you're going to have to get familiar with, travel to Atherton. I mean, it seems, insignificant maybe to people, but, when you're going with a big group, I'm sure it's nice when you go to Chico or you go to Cal State LA. You've stayed there, you know where to go, you know the restaurants, you know the routine. And now, obviously something that you're going to have to get used to is the peninsula.
Yeah. We've played Menlo for quite a bit. Their head coach is an alumni. So Keith and I have known each other for quite a while, and so we've played against each other a few times. So we've been down to that space, a few times, especially in the last 3 or 4 years. So we're getting more familiar with it, especially since they're a conference foe now as well. But, it's just another place in the Bay Area. Doesn't matter which side of the Bay, we're north, south, east, west, the Bay is the Bay.
Oh, fine words for the Bay Area folks down there.
Traffic.
Nobody can dispute you on
headache,
that one.
Great food, doesn't matter where you're at. So, there's a lot of good things about Atherton. I mean, not just all those bazillionaire tech guys, but, there's
maybe some of the money will trickle down your way.
That's what I was hoping.
A little bit of money down that way. All right, you had the extended preseason, the 2 weeks. How are you feeling as far as where the guys are at, and what sort of steps are you looking to get out of these preseason games before league play begins? Yeah,
just trying to get up to speed. We got a few new guys as well. Trying to get everybody on the same page with the system and the style of play. The intensity and the competitiveness, that's something they have to bring every day. But trying to get everybody on the same page as we get ready to go into the conference competition against, the insane conference that we play in. We need to find that confidence and self-belief in how we play by the time we get to there. So, I think these 6 games is going to be a real test for us to try to move that process forward. Ideally, we can move that process forward while winning a few games as well.
Of course.
So a little bit of both of those things. But the main goal is to get ourselves moving positively as we roll into conference.
How confident are you in the roles that have been established, or how much are these 6 games, these preseason games, going to establish what the starting lineup is going to look like when you get into league play?
There's a lot of unknown injuries and things like that will undoubtedly pop up. I think we returned quite a few starters from last year, and so my expectation is that they'll get up to speed quickly. We have some new young guys. Our freshman class is quite solid this year, and so there's some guys that will impact that as well, and so we'll see how they plug into that. But my guess is that the returning guys will get up to speed pretty quickly, and I think they'll figure it out.
All right, as a guy who hadn't watched a ton of soccer, I was all in on the World Cup. It was awesome. I had a blast. It was a great event. From a true soccer guy's perspective, your favorite part about the World Cup and what you would like to change most, either World Cups moving forward or what we could have done different as Americans. And you can't say Justin Bieber because that's obvious.
Yeah. Favorite thing in the World Cup, Cape Verde.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was such a great story. Amazing. Not just to see an underdog team perform well, but for an underdog team to go out and walk on the field with the kind of swagger and confidence and competitiveness that they showed. Basically, I don't give a care who we're playing against. We're going to go out here and compete. Spain, who are you? Argentina, who are you? And really, really amazing. So definitely a feel-good story from that standpoint. What we could change, I don't know. We're still trying to dial in this stupid VAR thing, which is frustrating as hell. We're doing it at our level as well. So imagine all the problems they had with VAR at the World Cup and at the professional level times 10 is what we're dealing with.
We got the same budget, right?
Oh yeah, exactly. Very, very, very similar. It's we're talking nickels and dimes at that point.
Coach, have fun on the peninsula this weekend.
I appreciate it.
Fred Jungemann right here. We're back with Nick Pettit after this. Pleasure to be joined by our leader, captain of the ship here in the athletic department, Dr. Nick Pettit. fresh off a starting golf performance as well. But if
JB,
we have
always
time,
a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And Nick, as we were talking, year 4 for you in athletics. We had that, it went from Dan Collin, who I think was 12 years of stability, high times. Then it seemed to be just kind of a turnstile for AD. And then you've come in, you've battened down the hatches and brought us stability.
Yeah, I think that's a testament to the people that we have here. We have a great staff, and coaches are phenomenal. It's not often you get to come into one of these jobs just coming off a national championship. So that was a fun way to start, and it gave us some things to build on. But yeah, it's been great. We've made a lot of progress and continue to do so, and continue to rise up and set the level of expectations up, because we went out and proved some things last year, moving from 11th in the CCA Commissioner's Cup to 4 in 1 year. That's quite a feat, and we're succeeding in the classroom. We had a cumulative GPA last year of 3.36, so we're winning in the classroom as well. And then we won the CCA Community Service Award last year. So we're hitting in all 3 phases, and that's, again, a testament to the people that we have here.
I got a front row seat for basketball, and obviously DJ had a great year. Michelle had another great year, and then to go number 4 in the Commissioner's Cup lets you know how Will Everett's doing, and we know how good rowing is, and I don't think they actually get to go towards those points because they're not in the CC2A. But Nick, what have you done? How have you helped these coaches be in a position so they can get more W's than L's?
Yeah, that's a great question. Resources help, and we've had tremendous support from the university in that regard, and got some help with scholarships, and that helps the coaches recruit. Our coaches are great recruiters, and they're out there pounding the pavement to get the best student athletes up here to help them build their programs. So we'll continue on that path, continue to move forward, and hope for great things this year. I'm excited to see these fall sports kick off: women's soccer, men's soccer, triathlon, little volleyball, cross country. So yeah, it's that time of year, man, and we are ready to go. A
lot of action in the fall. Look, things that one consistent about the NCAA is probably there is no consistency. The world of Division II athletics looked a lot different when Dan Collin was here than it is now. Just talk about the transfer portal, and the NCAA constantly seems to be adjusting rulings, whether it's because they're getting sued or they're trying to stay ahead of the curve. How do you stay consistent but also anticipate the way things are going?
Yeah, sometimes things get thrown at you, but you have to adjust on the fly. The NCAA has changed a lot of things, but the transfer portal, I think this 5th-year eligibility model will definitely settle things down a little bit. We'll see. It's brand new. But and you're going to have the transfer and NIL and stuff. That NIL doesn't hit us too much at this level, but it's still out there, and we have to be strategic in how we get our resources to support our teams.
Well, I'm sure for the longest time, kids all want to be D1, and I'm sure they all want NIL deals as well. Just fewer and far between when you come down to the Division II. One thing I have learned: the biggest role in athletics, at least here at Humboldt, is the president, Richard Carvajal. He's still actually, I think, the spring semester will be his first full year, but I'm sure you've got a chance to know him. What has it been like working with him, and how do you feel he values the athletic department when it comes as a whole to the university?
I've had a lot of discussions with President Carvajal about this, and you look at track records, right? At Valdosta, there was a lot of emphasis put in what he refers to as a blue chip athletic program, and they're very, very successful.
They won a lot there.
They won a lot, and he brings that desire here, and he's very supportive of athletics, and he's engaged. He comes to our games. He came to our convocation on Sunday. And he's really involved and shows a tremendous amount of support. And, I have a direct line to him. And again, he's just really supportive of what we're doing. He loves all the modeling behind the student-athlete experience and how successful we can be as the front porch of the university.
Well, I'm sure the good news is your boss cares about athletics. But at the same token, too, he's going to be paying attention, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think the whole community will be paying attention.
Touche.
And that's one of the things I love about Humboldt is the community involvement. And we saw over the last 3 years the gym here starting to get packed, and expect that same thing this year too. So that's a call out to all the community members. Come out and support
Soccer this Thursday.
Yeah, come out and support all of our sports. It's a great environment, and we love to have the community come out.
Final thing in community, and a guy who's a huge part of this, Shannon Childs. Not enough we can say about him, but an opportunity coming up September 6th to celebrate his life, correct?
Absolutely. A dear friend and colleague in Shannon, and that will be a great opportunity for the community to come together and really cherish what he was as a person and as a family man and as a stellar employee of this university for a long, long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think 20 plus years, right? Like when something hurt, Shannon was the guy, and I could see him standing there with his smirk on his face, and but always welcoming, and really took care of. Look, I mean, I even sent my mom to him over, so, I mean, he just wanted to help people. We were fortunate, I think, that he was our guy, right?
Yeah, Shan's amazing, and we'll look forward to that opportunity on Sunday the 6th to celebrate him and his family.
Nick, thank you very much. As always,
pleasure.
Another edition of All Access in the books. See you next week.